Hello everybody, David Burns here in the bee yard. I'm adding a super today to some of my hives, and I thought I'd just walk you guys through on some of the ways to add the honey super, top super, bottom super, queen excluder, no queen excluder. Lots to talk about today. As you can see, this hive here has 2 deeps to it and no honey super. So they need a little extra room. It's a hive that I combined last fall with newspaper before winter, and they made it through the winter just fine. And this will give them a chance to spread out a little bit into this top super. So what I have here, I've got an old box of mine that's been around the block a long time. And I've got old frames that I cleaned up this winter since it's a honey super. So that means that, you know, I scraped a bunch of propolis off and I put new foundation. This is Acorn Double Wax Foundation, not a paid promotion. I just like their foundation, plastic foundation. You can actually see the wax, like especially right there. Look how thick that is. But it helps the bees draw it out a little bit faster when it's coated more heavily with wax. And one of the things, I made this box myself, and one of the things I want to show you is, look at this. Here on the frame rest rail, we call it, I put these metal inserts in there. Now, originally I was concerned small hive beetle could hide under there, but it's too tight of a fit. They're flush with the wood on both sides. And if you don't have a lot of hives and you got the time, every bee storage sells these, but it's so nice because if you keep them cleaned up, then it's so easy to slide your frames like this. You just scrape it, and what I like about it, so many of my boxes, when I clean them up with my hive tool, it digs into the wood, and it just, you're wanting to get the propolis, but you scrape wood off. This protects your box where they hang. It's just a lot better. So I don't have them in all my hives, but this is the box that does. I thought I'd show that to you. Also, another thing I want to show you is communication holes. Uh-oh, is there any? I thought I had some in here. So let's talk about the communication holes. The foundation that you buy has a perforated edge to the bottom, and you can snap these off, and we call it a communication hole. But it's said that the bees can go through here without having to walk so far around. I don't really find it all that necessary because it's really not that far for a bee to go around as it would be to go through that hole. But I thought I'd show it to you, so if you wanted to knock those off, it would be probably helpful if that's your thing. It also helps you know which way to put the foundation in, right? Because if you look at this sheet of foundation, let me pop it out and show you real quick. If you just look at it, maybe you bought it like this, it's hard to know, you know, which is the top, which is the bottom, and you could get by with making a mistake, and it really doesn't matter. But if you look more carefully, you can see the perforation marks here, and those perforation holes, those little marks there, they always are at the bottom. And so if you want to get the orientation correct, it's always at the bottom. And to me, it seems like this bottom is a little bit, right here, it's a little bit wider than the top is, but maybe not. What do you think, Patrick? I think this looks wider than that, just by
maybe a little.
Yeah, just by a hair, like maybe 2.5 hairs. Not enough to know, right? Anyway, it snaps in there really nice, so I can snap out old ones that I don't like anymore, and I can snap new ones in. I don't really replace these too often. I've kept bees. I started beekeeping 30 years ago, so I've got some old, not so good looking stuff, but some things needed to be replaced. But in your brood area, that's where you really need to replace your foundation more frequently. Not so much up here, because you don't get cocoons, you don't get all the stuff that you have in the brood area. All right, so that's the frames, and you can see that some of my frames have been around the block. So I saw one of them that was broken, like this one here. Look at that. It's been around so long that it's broken. So we're going to get ready to put this on. Well, let me answer the question, would you use a queen excluder? I really think new beekeepers should consider using a queen excluder, only because, you know, you're out there wanting the honey and you don't want your queen to lay eggs in your honey super. I think Patrick and I talked about it, and neither of us use queen excluders. And I don't mind if I find the queen up here, I'll just pick her up and move her back in. I'll put her in the entrance and let her walk back in, and she'll stay low in the hive. But generally how beekeeping works in bee biology, they always make their honey higher up above the brood area. And so it's kind of one of those things where typically your queen is going to stay down. I would say of all the hives here, just shy of 30 hives, I would say that 98% of them, except coming out of winter, all summer long, they do not get up in the honey super. The queen doesn't. Now in the winter, coming out of winter, they will, but I just move her back down and all is good. So I don't use a queen excluder. I recently spoke in the Nevada at their state conference, and Dr. Dave Tarpey was there, and he informed me that there was a new study that was done comparing using a queen excluder and not using one to see if it's true that a queen excluder can be a honey excluder. And he said the study showed there's no difference between using a queen excluder or not. So we can kind of put that myth aside. And sometimes it's up to the bees how much honey they make and the season. So what we're going to do is just slap a honey super on here. So let's get in there. So I'll smoke a little bit under the hood. Oh, lots of bees. Look at all the bees on the top cover too. Patrick, look at all my small hive beetles.
That's funny.
Oh, wait, I don't see any.
I don't either.
Do you hate that I rubbed that in?
No.
Okay.
It's okay.
Now, before you think that I'm always picking on Patrick and he's picking on me, we have a lot of fun poking fun at each other. So,
and they're right. You do pick on me.
Because it makes you laugh.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah. That's a lot of bees. They're ready to make some honey up here, I think. I put a new frame in here already on a recent inspection I did. Not sure why I was in here, but just like I removed a frame, didn't it? All right, so we'll put this super on like this. Honey super. And then I'm going to talk to you about boxes, okay? So we'll just kind of make this. Oh, I need to also say that some people take a frame out and then they use 9 frames. So you would space all these out evenly, roughly, you know, so that some people say you get more honey because now the comb can be pulled out a little bit wider. It does make it easier to uncap it because you get more area for your knife to shave off the cappings, you know. And I spread those out pretty quickly like that. And they make a little tool. I've made videos on the tool that makes it fine. I don't find it to make that much difference anyway, so I always like to go with 10 in there. But keep them kind of pushed to the middle, just like that. And then we'll put the top back on it. And then I'm going to talk to you about why we call it what we call it. So this is called a deep box because it's deep, deeper than the medium. This is called a medium because there's also one smaller than this honey super, and it's called a shallow. So these are like 9 5/8, and these are 6 5/8, and I don't know the measurement of the shallow, maybe 5 and something. But shallow supers, I've used them before, but I don't like them because they fill them up quick and they draw them out and fill them up quick, but you don't get as much honey out of a shallow super as you would a medium. Now, if you're really strong and if you got a really good back, you could put all deeps and you can have this top honey super to be a deep. That's going to weigh about 70 awkward pounds. And I've done it before and I don't like it. And I never liked it. So medium, that's going to weigh between 30 and 30 plus pounds right here. It's a little awkward to pick up sometimes with the little handles. Now, we call these different names. We would call this, and everyone's going to have a different opinion, but I call this a deep brood box because I'm raising brood in it. However, some of you use all of these medium boxes here. And that's because you've chosen a smaller box instead of the deep boxes for all your hive. And that's fine. You can do that. It makes it lighter to move boxes around. And you could still call these brood boxes. They're just medium brood boxes, medium size. This one has other names for it. This medium box here, Mr. Dadant here in Illinois came up with the idea. And so it's often called a Illinois super, and it's also called has it been called a Dadant super?
I don't know. I've heard Illinois super before.
And it may have even been called at times a Dadant super, but it's definitely Illinois super, medium super. We typically use this for the bees to raise honey. So those of you that are kind of new to beekeeping, you're trying to get all the nomenclature down, the wording, and the vocabulary. These are 2 deep brood boxes and 1 medium honey super on top here. And so now you're wondering, David, if your queen goes up there and starts laying eggs, does that ruin your honey forever? No, not at all. I simply pick the queen up, I put her back in here, let her go back and stay down here in the brood area. Meanwhile, the little brood that is up here is usually just on the bottom of the frames. It will emerge over time, and it won't make any difference at all with your, they'll just refill it with honey. So when should you put your honey supers on? Well, a lot of you might be starting out beekeeping brand new, and you're starting out first in a single deep box with a nucleus or a package of bees. You put this one on when 5 to 7 frames are drawn out down here. You put this one on. When 5 or 7 frames of this one are drawn out with bees on it, that's when you add the next box. And you add your next super when it gets about 5 to 7 frames on your first super. Now, do you bottom super or top super? That's a big question. I always like to top super because typically once I have this one drawn out here full of nectar or honey, the queen just doesn't go up there because there's no place for her to lay. She goes back down. So I use this one as my natural queen excluder, and then I can top super and keep having them draw out more. But I would say when you're done feeding your bees, because you have dandelions blooming, that's the first thing here in Illinois. I don't feed anymore, and that's when I can start putting my supers on. Don't feed your bees while you've got your honey super on. Otherwise, you're getting sugar water into your honey, and it's not going to hurt you, but it's not authentic flower honey. Patrick and I had a ball making a video for you guys on extracting your honey from the hive all the way into the bottle. You got to watch this video. It's one of Patrick's favorite videos, right, Patrick?
Yes.
All right. If you want to watch this video, check it out right here.